Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus, and welcome to the first ever official live stream Saturday. So thank you everybody for requesting this live stream on a Saturday. I hope you guys are having a great weekend so far. And I want to get the live chat room up on screen because we already have a few people in the chat room. So hello to you guys, and Lynn and Laurie and Ray and Jeff and Ian and Laurie again and David. Hi guys, thank you for joining me tonight. And just before the live stream started, I did have a look at the likes, and we've got 41 likes already. So thank you so much for hitting the thumbs up before the live stream has even started. So a great plug for the mug to spike the likes, and let me actually pick it up the correct way so you can see what's written on the side. So thank you everybody for spiking the likes so early on. If you want to, you can give this live stream a thumbs up because it really helps with everything. But let me get these people's names up on screen who are my patrons. I'd like to say a massive thank you to these people at the bottom of the screen because they make this all possible and every single video that I do possible on this channel. And a lot of you guys do pop up on a Tuesday night and now a Saturday night as well. So thank you for your support across the platforms and also for replying to my questions over on Patreon to see what you guys want to hear for tonight. And it always makes my job a little bit easier when the requests come in. And it is something that I will spread around a little bit because a few people over on Patreon are very quick off the mark with their requests, and I am going to spread around a little bit, so hopefully I'll be able to play one of your requests if you did request one. But if I don't panic, I have read all of them. It's just spreading it around because there are a couple of people. Sandra's very quick off the mark on Patreon as soon as I ask for requests, and I think over the last couple of weeks I have played a few of Sandra's requests. So tonight there'll be one from Sandra, but also Laurie and Kevin as well. But Lynn, another request over on Patreon. Thank you guys so much for answering that post that I did earlier. So we are going to be getting into the first video, and this was requested by Laurie over on Patreon. And just before we do that, there's a little bit of action in the super chat window, and this is from Laurie, who has donated $5. Thank you so much for that, Laurie. And the message is, nice, fancy new intro. This is what I have been working on tonight, and the reason why things might go wrong tonight, because I was trying to set up the show and I was obviously working on this new intro, trying to piece it all together and then take out the live stream Tuesday elements, but then also I wanted to work in the new intro that I've been using for the analysis videos. So I've been piecing that together, and fortunately I went live at the right time and it's working so far. Fingers crossed that it continues. And with the stream on Tuesday, it did cut out right at the end, but we've been live streaming for about an hour and 15 minutes at that point, so it wasn't too bad. I was in the process of saying goodbye anyway, so hopefully it'll be the same tonight, that we can go on for a long time and it doesn't disconnect. But we are going to be getting into the first video of the night, and this is going to be one of my original songs from my album called Persistence, which you can get on iTunes and Amazon and wingsofpegasus.com. And this was requested by Laurie over on Patreon, so we're going to be jumping straight into a rocking start to the Saturday live stream, or live stream Saturday, and I hope you guys enjoy this. Just quickly before we start the video, we have El Martinez, who has donated $10, so thank you so much for that donation, and it looks like it's just a straight up donation, so thank you so much for that. We are going to be jumping into the video now. As always, I'm going to be in the chat room while the video is playing, and I'll see you guys after this song called Running Blind. Rock!
Or am I the only one?
That was my song called Running Blind. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. And that was requested by Laurie over on Patreon. And hello everybody in that live chat room. We've got Barbara in the house tonight, and Simple 1 and 2, and Lynn as well, and Jojo, and Barbara again, and Marcel Audubon. Hello guys, thank you so much. Hopefully that was a French name. That was my attempt at a French accent, if you're confused as to what that noise was. But thank you for joining me on this Saturday night. We've had a little bit of action in the super chat window, and it is from Linda, who has donated $5, and the message is, thank you Linda for that, the message is it as crazy in the UK as it is here in the US with people hoarding groceries? You'd think the world stopped rotating on its axis. So, to answer that question, things have been a bit crazy here in the UK, and it seems to be kitchen roll and toilet paper that people are hoarding, and just going into a shop, just no toilet paper anywhere. So, I don't know whether toilet paper is the cure that nobody's talking about, but it just seemed weird that nobody's really going for food. They're going for toilet paper first, but that's just what has I don't know, it's happening in the UK. But yeah, it's something that this weekend we've now cancelled all these sporting events that are normally on TV and people go to watch, and I think it's going to be a few days of cancellations just to make sure that it doesn't spread around a little bit more. And I think just live streaming obviously is the best thing to do. Just stay at home, sit in front of your computer or your phone or whatever you've got, and just isolate yourself from other people. Maybe that's the best way to go. But I think the other misconception is of the younger generation, unfortunately, where they're potentially mildly affected by coronavirus, but they still go out and they can spread it to people who have underlying medical conditions, and especially the elderly, people that are a lot more susceptible to the virus. And unfortunately the younger generation can see it as not really a big deal and they'll get over it, but you've got to think about actually spreading it around. So I think it's a good plan and a good idea here that we've stopped things where you've got thousands and thousands of people in the same place just for a few days to see what happens. But in terms of the hoarding, yeah, it's all kicking off. And toilet paper, I don't know if it's the same in the US. Maybe they're doing the same thing as well. But in my view, if you have to self-isolate yourself for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, just buy 2 or 3 weeks worth of shopping and don't go crazy with it, but just make sure that you're isolated the whole time. But anyway, that's the thing, just stay safe on this live stream. We are going to be safe from the outside, so we'll just stay in here and everything will be fine. But thank you, Linda, for that donation. And just on a serious note, obviously I'm not a doctor, I'm a musician, but keep washing your hands. That's what we're being told here in the UK. As soon as you touch anything or you go out, and you might touch something that somebody else has touched, and that's the way that it spreads around. So make sure that you wash your hands all the time and don't touch your face. But anyway, thank you, Linda, for that donation. And Kathy has donated as well. Hello, Kathy. Thanks for joining me tonight on the first official live stream Saturday, and it is a donation of $5, and it's just a straight up donation, so thank you for that, Kathy. Carla has donated $4.99 as well. Thank you for that, Carla. And we have another donation of $4.99, and this is Harlot Oscara, who says, keep it up, and there's a guy exercising, so thank you for that, Harlot. And there's another one that's just come in again from Kathy, so thank you for this, Kathy. It is a $2 donation, and the message is, it's the same way here in the USA. Bummer. So this is the thing. And I think over in the USA, I'm not sure what the numbers are like over there with people that are infected, or whether people have died from it. I don't know the numbers really. I just know that we're taking serious steps here in the UK to try and stop the spread of it, and maybe not as serious as other countries, but we will have to see. Wait, well, just keep yourself away if you can, but obviously easier said than done. I think it's another thing with the stiff upper lip that we have in the UK of just getting on with it, and even if you're feeling a bit ill, you still go to work and don't let people down. And unfortunately, that attitude is perfect for spreading a virus, because people feel like they want to go into work because things will pile up if they have a day off or something like that. So unfortunately, I think a lot of people tend to do that, especially in the UK. They just grit and bear it if they're a little bit ill. But this is the time when, if you are feeling a little bit ill, just take yourself out of the equation if possible, just for a few days, just to see if you've got anything. But then if it does develop, I think it's 2 weeks that we're supposed to be self-isolating here. But who'd have thought that we'd be talking about this on live stream Saturday? Probably it's the first real movie type virus that's out there, because you always see these movies where it spreads from one person to another person, and then literally from one country to another country. And to think that one person in China got infected or caught this virus, and now it's all over the place. It is scary, but hopefully they'll be able to get a cure or a jab so that you can be immune to it. But I don't know. We'll see what happens in the future. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me tonight, guys. And we've had a few donations in the Super Chat window tonight. So thank you for all of these donations already. And just another quick shout out to my patrons at the bottom of the screen as well, who make everything on this channel possible, and all the analysis videos and my cover videos and everything. We also saw, well, I saw, we all saw a message, I'm sure, going through the chat room where somebody was asking to see my t-shirt. And this t-shirt is not the live stream t-shirt or the Wings of Pegasus t-shirt. I haven't actually got a live stream t-shirt. We've just got the mug so far. But with this t-shirt, I don't know if you can guess what movie it's from, because it just looks like this. And if you haven't seen the movie, then maybe it will just look like a line of green letters, which is exactly what it is, and symbols. So if you've seen the movie, you'll know what it is. It's a movie called The Matrix with Keanu Reeves, and there was also The Matrix Revolutions, and the second one was The Matrix Reloaded. So I do like those films, and this is the t-shirt that I'm wearing. Obviously, you can get your hands on a Wings of Pegasus t-shirt if you want it in the tray underneath the video. So you can head over there, which is also where you can get the mugs. Time to plug the mug. And if you want to hit that thumbs up as well, you can spike the likes, which is on the mug. So thank you everyone for hitting that thumbs up so far. We also aim for about 200 likes, about exactly 200 likes on the live streams that we do on Tuesday. And I don't know whether we might have some new people in the house tonight who don't usually join us on a Tuesday, but the reason for doing these streams on a Saturday is that I think they're a little bit more accessible for people, so they can just jump in for a few minutes or however long they want to and have a chat in the live chat room with all of you guys in there. Let me just mention as well that we have the Wings of Pegasus supporters group over on Facebook, and that's where Vince hosts the after party on Tuesdays live streams. And if you want to join in with that, you can do. It's just a group that you can join on Facebook, and it's just called Wings of Pegasus supporters group, and click on that and Laura will allow you to join the group, and you can get involved over there as well. But we've had a little bit more action in the super chat window, and we've had a donation of $5 from Jen. Thank you for that, Jen. The message is your flat close to your studio? So the flat, or the house section, is just out the door. It's not very fancy. Section sounds like there's a wing or something, but no, yes, it's very close. So I literally just go out of the house and then enter the studio. So it's a very short walk and very convenient for me teaching wise. Obviously we have to walk through the house to get to this back part, but yeah, it's safe. Hopefully, this is the other thing about teaching. I think especially in schools, when there are a lot of kids and they might be minimally affected by the virus, and it might spread around, and then it can maybe spread to other people that way. And certainly with teaching, you do become a little bit more concerned about people coming in, especially if they're coughing or something. So I've tried to minimize the amount of teaching that I'm doing. Obviously, I think my students, if they did feel like they were becoming ill, they would tell me. And it's something that when you've been teaching people for a long time, you know them very well, and I'm sure that they would let me know before coming in for a lesson. But yes, other than that, it's just me in this room. And every night when I do an analysis video and for the live streams, it's just me in here. So I'm pretty much isolated already, and I only really have to go out when I'm posting CDs and all that kind of stuff. So just the admin and getting the CDs out to people that have been ordered on my website, that's when I have to go out into the real world and interact with people. And also, just money is something that I was thinking about. When you handle money and you pass it over to somebody, and say that somebody before me has paid for something and then I've bought something and I've got the change, so they give me the coins, there's potentially something being spread around on money. So it's, I don't know how you would keep a track on that. Just wipe the money with, I don't know, antibacterial wipes or something, or just stop touching the money, or wear gloves. That's probably the best thing to do. If you're handling money, wear gloves, because I've heard that it can last for quite a long time on the surface of things, and money is one of those things that does change hands so often every day. But we will see. So yes, don't panic. I am just here all the time pretty much, so I'm not really getting out there too much. And you guys know with the analysis videos I do every night that it takes quite a while to stick one of those together. So most of my day is spent in here just editing and recording and doing that kind of stuff. But thank you so much for that donation, Jen. We have had a couple of donations that have come in after Jen, and Carl is in the house and has donated $5, and as always it is for the post-pandemic Cross the Pond tour. I almost laid myself a trap there, because I was going to say, as always, it's for the Cross the Pond fund, but then as soon as I read for the post, I got confused, but it's the post-pandemic Cross the Pond tour. So thank you for that, Carl. This is the other thing. We don't know what is going to be affected. Traveling overseas, going on holidays. I know that now everything's pretty much at a halt here in the UK, but fingers crossed it's all going to subside and people are going to get better and isolate themselves if they are ill as well, and hopefully we can see if we can get the numbers to decrease and stop the spread of the virus. But thank you, Carl, for that. We will see what will happen with the Cross the Pond fund in the future and the whole idea of it. We'll have to see, just wait on how we control this virus. But thank you, Carl. I was going to go into the next video, but we've had another donation from Lisa, and it is for $5. Thank you, Lisa, for that donation. The message with that is, thank you for entertaining me while I'm at work at a hospital. So no problem, Lisa, and hopefully it isn't too stressful there. I'm sure this is a really busy time for hospitals and doctors and everybody going in who, I think, panic when they just get a cough or they might have a cold. And this is the other thing, that because the symptoms are so similar, it's very difficult. I think they've said in the UK that if you have got a cold or you feel like you've got a cold, then just self-isolate as well. And another thing that I saw was that if you can hold your breath for 10 seconds, it's a good test to know whether you've got it or not, because if you have got it, you will struggle to hold your breath because it affects the lungs or something like that. I'm not a doctor, I'm a musician, so don't take my word for it, but maybe look that up on Google, just ways of finding out if you have potentially got it early on if you are starting to feel a little bit ill. But thank you, Lisa, for that donation, and I hope that it's not too busy at hospital and not too stressful. But just looking into the chat room tonight, KA DJ's in the house, and Rene Cruz as well, and Jojo, and One Johnny 52, and Kung Flu Panda, and Susan and Dennis are in the house as well. Hello guys, thanks for joining me, and Linda and Debbie and Smooth, Jazz Lover 1000, and Elusive Rainbow as well. Hello, thank you for joining me tonight on Livestream Saturday. I hope that everything is working. It seems to be going out fine. And this is something that sometimes, if it does cut out, like we did have on Tuesday, it wasn't my live stream here, it was actually YouTube that for some reason had a problem with the live streaming service right at the end, so it did cut off. But we will see what happens tonight. I am going to be playing some of my own music and one cover. And with my own music, as you guys know from Tuesday's live streams, that once when I played my own music, I got a copyright claim from the publishing company who look after my music. So it's nothing to panic about. If everything does cut out, it's probably just that, the copyright being enforced on my own music. So it's no big deal, really. I'm not going to enforce the copyright on myself. It's just in case things do cut off, it might be for that reason, but fingers crossed it'll be okay for tonight. So we're going to be getting into the next video, and we have just had another donation, and this is Ian, who is in the house tonight, and Ian has donated $50. Thank you so much for that, Ian, and the message is for the first official live stream Saturday with a smiley face. So thank you for that, Ian. And Ian's done a cover of one of my songs and also does his own songs on his YouTube channel, so you can check that out if you get a chance. And we've just had another donation come in. Thank you, Ian, for that donation of $50, just a crazy donation, but thank you. And Lucy has donated $9.99. Thank you for that, Lucy. The message is, for your well-being, stock up dollars for supplies and some rock horns and a heart and a piece. So thank you for that, Lucy. I don't think I'm going to be stocking up too much, and I think my stocks are fine. I can pretty much just have soup. I'm not really a big eater, so pretty much soup every night and some bread, and I'm good to go. So no panicking from my side, but I think it's something that obviously other people are affected a lot more than me, because I really don't have to go out and isolate myself, potentially with lots of people. When I say isolate, I mean like traveling on the tube, for example, here in the UK, in London, having such close contact with other people and the air not circulating, it can be a nightmare for people that need to do that journey every day to go into work. So fortunately I'm not in that boat, so I am a little bit more lucky on that side of things. But Lucy, thank you for that donation. And Angela has donated $5. Hello, Angela. Thank you for joining me. And this is a smiley face man with some sunglasses on. So thank you for that. And all of the super chat donations so far in tonight's live stream Saturday. I'm going to have to get used to saying that, because this is the first one that I've ever done that's been official. Last week I did a live stream because I just finished editing, recording the video with Donal Logue, and we were looking at Rory Gallagher. And this is an interesting thing, because I re-released that video without the audio on it, just to safeguard it from being blocked on copyright grounds in the future. And I think the original video, people having trouble now getting into the Rory Gallagher video of his performance, not the one that Donal and I did. But it's interesting that how sometimes you can be watching a video one week and it's fine, and then the next week it's been copyright claimed or copyright blocked, so you literally cannot access it anymore. So fortunately that original video with Donal and I is still on the channel, but if it is blocked for the same reason as that original performance video was blocked, then there is still a version that you guys can watch on the channel, which is the whole reason that I did it in the first place. But getting back into the super chat window, Laura has donated $5. Thank you so much for that, Laura. And the message is, this is a donation from Bird Walker, who is watching with me. She says, for you to stay well, me too. So thank you, Laura, for that. And also Bird Walker for that donation and for both joining me tonight. It is much appreciated. We have had another donation of $1.99, and this is from DM, And the message is, Phil, I pimped out your channel with random guitarist. So thank you for that DM, for that donation, and for pimping out my channel. And here in the UK, I think that means when you make something really attractive, or you make something that's not very good really fancy, like Pimp Out My Ride or something. I think there's a show that does something with old cars and turn them around into looking like new cars. So I'm not sure if it means the same thing, but thank you for pimping out my channel. It's much appreciated. We're going to be getting into the next video tonight, and this is going to be the cover video. This was requested by Lynn over on Patreon, and it's my cover of Parisian Walkways. So we're going to be jumping into this. As always, I'm going to be in the chat room while this is playing. I'll see you guys after this video. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you guys in a few minutes. Rock.
I remember Paris, 49, the Champs-Élysées, Saint-Michel and old Beaujolais wine. And I recall that you were mine on those Parisian days.
And there we have it. That was my cover of Parisian Walkways. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. And we did have a little bit of action in the super chat window while that was going on. And by the way, we did have Mario turning up in the live chat room. So everything from Tuesdays is carrying over to Saturdays because we always say hello Mario on Livestream Tuesdays, and now we're going to say it on Livestream Saturdays as well. So everybody in the live chat room say hello Mario. Thank you Mario for joining me tonight on Saturday, and you can see Mario's guitars just over my shoulder here that Mario sent to me, and this is why we all say hello to Mario, because he sent me 2 amazing guitars. So thank you Mario, and for joining me tonight and on Tuesday. Everybody say hello Mario. We are going to be getting into that super chat window because we've had a little bit of action, and Kevin has donated $5. Thank you Kevin. The message is, Phil, now that you are with friends, you can come clean. Are you Satchel? And this is probably something that is a common thought, especially when I'm doing a video right next to him with exactly the same haircut. But I think Satchel is probably about 10 years older than I am, if maybe 11 or 12. I'm not sure of the maths, but it is around there. So he's a little bit older, even though he still looks like he's about 30. And I'm not sure what his hair is like in real life, because I think that's a wig that has the... Obviously, when you're wearing a wig, the join between the head and the hair can be a little bit of a giveaway. So he wears that headband over there. But maybe it's his real hair. I'm not sure. I can't imagine that it is, because it just looks a bit too shiny. And it's always looking great. So whatever he's doing, if it is his real hair, he's getting it just to look awesome the whole time, which I think is impossible with hair, because as people with long hair, guys and girls, know that your hair decides what it's going to do. It can be looking like it's, for example, tonight, look, one half of it is just pointing up, defying gravity. So it will just do what it wants to do. You can never have consistent hair unless you put the hair on your head and then it's stylized. You can just have it the same every time. That'd be great. Maybe I'll go to somebody and say, can you make me a wig that is this hair? And then I can just put it on and it'll look great, maybe without these bits that point up at the side. But anyway, we're talking about hair, which is something that tends to happen on Tuesdays, but let's nip that in the bud and we will continue with this super chat window. So thank you so much for that, Kevin. And Lynn is in the house, and thank you, Lynn, so much for another donation. This is $50. Thank you, Lynn. The message is, hello to Mario, who appeared right when Parisian Walkways did. Cool timing, Mario. So thank you for that donation, Lynn, and also for drawing attention to Mario's presence in the live chat room. And thank you, everybody, for joining me tonight. We've got Linda in there, Barbara, and there's Mario saying hello to Suzanne, and Elusive Rainbow still in there, and Sue as well. Thank you guys for joining me tonight on Saturday night, and also for all of the donations. We've had a couple more in the super chat window. Shirley has donated $24.99. Thank you for that, Shirley. And the message is, amazing tone and beautiful song for Soup Fund, and a man with glasses on, sunglasses, and a happy, smiley, laughy face. So thank you for that, Shirley. And soup is pretty cheap as well. So I think I'm quids in there. Just get loads of different flavors of soup. I tend to go for tomato. That's my go-to soup. The cream of tomato. So it's very tasty indeed. And obviously there are lots of other types of soup you can get, but I don't think you can go wrong with tomato and bread and butter. But anyway, thank you, Shirley, for that donation. And DM has donated again, and it's $1.99. Thank you so much for that. The message is, Phil, can you add cranberries to your list? Also the sweet. So thank you, DM, for the donation, and I will do that. I will add both of those to my list. And we've just had another donation, and this is from Ray, who has donated $50. Thank you so much for that, Ray. The message is, I do not think I have ever told you how much I love your playing. Thank you. I have become convinced there are some cries from the depths of a human soul only a Strat can express. One day I wish to compose parts for a Strat. So, thank you for the kind words, and especially with that cover, it's, well, something that I think Fender players will understand, that getting sustain on a Fender Strat can be difficult, and I have got a Seymour Duncan dual blade pickup in there to help it along a little bit with sustain, but I do get asked about the note that goes on for a long time in that solo, which is something that Gary Moore used to do, obviously not on a Fender, but having that note that just goes on for a long time, that's feedback. So it's not actually sustained from the guitar, from the pickups going through a sustain pedal. It's just having the amp at a decent volume and then getting your angle right so that you set up a feedback loop with the guitar, the pickups on the guitar, and the amplifier. And this is something that I do refer to in videos where some players, such as Gary Moore, will have that feedback loop going, and he used to be able to just nail that all the time. Even on a massive stage, he'd be in exactly the right spot. He knew exactly where it was to get that feedback loop set up, so it would be an endless note that he could just stand there and vibrato that note for as long as he wanted, and it would just stay there. Obviously, if you started to move around, you'd then probably lose that feedback loop because it's very precise, your position. So that's how I did it on the video, just copying what Gary Moore used to do live, but just something that you have to do with a Fender. I don't think it's one of those guitars that is set up for really thick tone and loads of sustain, and not really particularly fast playing either. So that's why I've got the Ibanez Geo, but also the Gem in the background from Mario. So for all my little forays into fast playing, that's what I do when I tend to practice. I get the Ibanez out, and then when I'm going for more bluesy stuff, I play either the Fender that you just saw in that video or the Fender Strat that Fender sent me. So thank you, Fender, for doing that again, sending me a Strat and also designing it for the colors that I wanted as well. So that was massively appreciated from Fender. So we are going to be moving on with this live stream into the next video, but just before we do, Hardashian Kalsa has donated $11. Thank you so much for that. The message is, Phil, your cover of Parisian Walkways was really beautiful. Thank you. Also, it's really nice to have a live stream for some fun while we're all social distancing. And I'm not sure what that means, while we're all social distancing. Maybe it's just distancing, and I've just read it totally wrong because I saw it as dancing for some reason. Because maybe dancing I associated with you all having fun and dancing, but distancing. So thank you for that donation, and thank you for everybody socializing in the chat room window, in that live chat room. Thank you everybody for joining me and for all of these super chat donations. It really does make a difference to help support the channel and allow me to keep going and pushing forward and do a new video every single night for you guys with the analysis videos, but also allowing me to keep my software and hardware up to date so that I can do these live streams on Tuesdays and now on Saturdays. So DM has just donated again, $1.99. Thank you for that. The message is, I love Setzer's tone on Gretsch. Are you a fan of Gretsch? And yes, not that I have one, and I have I say I have played one in the past. I didn't own one, but I used to teach in a guitar shop, so I was very lucky that I could just go around and play so many different guitars and so many different makes of guitar. So that's what I used to do. If there was a cancellation to a lesson, I'd have half an hour, or if there were a couple of cancellations, an hour, just to pick up lots of different guitars and classical guitars as well, and acoustics, and you name it. I'll just be going through them all, and then before you know it, the next student's here and an hour's disappeared. But Anyway, but thank you again for that donation. And I don't have one, like I said, but maybe in the future, who knows? It's one of those things that I have to watch my guitars, because you can see already I do have them hung up on the wall. As you see, if I can move to the side, you can see an acoustic on the wall, and then my Strat as well, and the acoustic's just the Tanglewood that I've played in other acoustic videos that I've done. But the floor space is starting to get taken up by guitars, and if I start buying guitars, I potentially won't be able to get into this room because it will just be filled with guitars. So I have to be very strict and try and monitor what I do with regards to buying guitars. Maybe one day I'll have a very special room that's just for guitars, and that'll be fine. That'll be great, but that's maybe dream talking, but who knows? Anything's possible. Thank you so much for that donation again. And Lucy has donated again, $4.99. And Lucy says, curious, how many artists are on your analysis list? Estimate with a guitar. Great way to spend a Saturday. Thank you for that, Lucy. And guesstimating on how many artists are on the list, I'm not sure. I think maybe I've done around 500 individual artists and bands, and this is Anne who keeps a track of it for me and sends me an email, so thank you, Anne, for doing all that. And she tells me how many people I've analyzed, but I think it's around 500, something like that. So yeah, it's getting quite a lot for people that I have analyzed. And getting an idea of the list, I have no idea. I know that I get probably a minimum of 100 per video, and I do a new video every night. So I've probably got a year's worth of video in, well, a year's worth of suggestions in maybe 3 or 4 days. So that's how it works. Obviously, I make a note of all of them, and some of them will be multiple requests. So you can imagine that 5 or 10 or 20 or 50 people might request one artist, and then it's just a case of choosing the video that was first requested on that artist. And this is another thing that people have said before, oh, why did you choose this video? You should have chosen that video. Whereas I'm just going through the list and following the links that I'm given. So I'm looking at a video and I'm literally looking at it and analyzing what I see and what I hear, and also the technical aspects of whether the person is a singer and the techniques they're using, or whether they're playing the guitar. So that's just how I approach it. So it's just a way of keeping it fresh, not only for you guys, but for me. So if I just work my way down the list and just click on whatever link happens to pop up, then it's always going to be a new kind of analysis video, rather than potentially doing the same video or the same artist over and over and over again, night after night after night. If I just follow through all of the suggestions, it's very rare that I have the same artist 2 nights in a row. But anyway, thank you, Lucy, for that donation. And Blue Bee has donated $2. Thank you for that. The message is, thanks Phil for the gorgeous monkeys analysis, with a smiley face, and thank you for that donation. And it's no problem at all. This is the other thing that I think is very important, being a musician myself, knowing that people know that you play. And it's something that, surprisingly, underneath the Elvis video that I did, where there was somebody who commented and said that Elvis is faking this, and then I did a video saying, well, no, he's not, and I showed exactly what Elvis is playing to prove that he is playing. And some people said, oh, who cares? Why does it matter if Elvis could play or not? And as an artist, it's a really important thing for people to know that you genuinely are doing what you're doing, because there are so many people that mime and fake playing the guitar, for example. So I think it's a really important thing, and that's why I did the video, because if people say, oh, Elvis was faking guitar, I like to think that there's at least one video on YouTube that is from a teacher's perspective and somebody who's played for over 25 years just saying no and showing the evidence that Elvis definitely played the guitar. So it's the same thing with the Monkees, where people say about them faking playing, and very early on they had to learn to play because they weren't put on the instruments that they wanted to be on because of the whole image thing and the way that it looked on stage. But they did learn to play their instruments to the point where they could play live, and that video that I featured was a great example of that, because the live sound was great. I do say in the video, I'm not going to repeat it all here, but you wouldn't question that if you saw it live. The top level playing just across the board, and a great representation of the original record, which is what it's all about. If you can get those studio songs to sound anything close to the studio live, then you've nailed it, and they absolutely did on that performance. But thank you so much for that donation. And we've had another set of donations. We've got Steve, and I'm gonna have to scroll up here. I just want to make sure that I don't miss anybody in the super chat window. We have Ryan, who did pop up to the top of the screen, so thank you for this donation. £1.99, and this is a pound, so it's somebody from the UK. So hello, Ryan. Thanks for tuning in from the UK tonight. And thank you everybody for tuning in wherever you are in the world. And we've had another donation. This is from Steve for $2. Thank you, Steve. The message is for the list, asterism from Japan. So thank you for the donation, Steve, and I will add that to the list. Debbie has donated. Hello, Debbie. $9.99. Thank you for that. The message is, thank you, Phil, for showing America and analyzing their music. They are one of my favorites. No problem, Debbie, and thank you for that donation. And America were one of those bands that is interesting just from that perspective of being called America and not wanting to be seen as British people pretending to be America. But again, I mentioned that all in the video. I'm not going to mention it all here, but you can go and watch the analysis videos if you want of Elvis playing the guitar, the Monkees, and America as well. There's lots of videos up on the channel, so you can check those out. But thank you, Debbie, for that donation. And Jen has donated again, and this is $5. Thank you, Jen. The message is, since I've been listening to his stuff with his new LP dropping, was wondering if you've gotten anywhere with Eric Johnson's Cliffs of Dover, with a face that's questioning, or a thinking face, I think maybe. But thank you, Jen, for that. And Eric Johnson is on the channel here somewhere playing Cliffs of Dover, so I have done that in an analysis video if you want to check that out. But thank you, Jen, for that $5 donation. And we've had another donation over the hill, Dill, who has donated $10. Thank you for that. The message is, love your channel, you're an awesome dude. So thank you for the kind words, and thank you for that donation as well. We're gonna have to get into this next video soon, but we've got two more super chat donations. Just quickly, Ray has donated again, $20. Thank you for that, Ray. The message is, point one, I have started categorizing your videos by focus. I loved Gary Puckett vid. I placed it in the vocal techniques category. Point two, I like the clean tone, melodic lines in fourth position. Maybe unusual though. So thank you, Ray, for that, and for categorizing my videos as well. This is the other thing that I did mention in the other live stream on Tuesday about making a playlist of my videos. I haven't got around to that yet, unfortunately, but it's something that if you do start watching a video, hopefully in the suggested column, you might see other videos suggested, so you can hop over there if you want to see another video straight afterwards. But thank you, Ray, so much for that donation. And we've had another donation from Kathy, who has donated $5. Thank you, Kathy. We are going to be getting into the next video, which is going to be my song called Art Not Commerce, and it's going to be the lyric video of that, I hope, if I've uploaded it correctly. And that was requested over on Patreon again, and I'm just going to see if I can. It was Sandra who didn't donate it but requested it. But I am going to get into these donations quickly before I finish the video, because I want to make sure that I don't miss anybody else. So that was Ray. Thank you for the $20 donation. Kathy as well, $5. And the message Kathy's written is, Phil, for being genuine. Thank you. So thank you, Kathy, for joining in tonight. Local has donated $2. And the message is, I don't have much money, but thank you so much for that donation, considering that fact as well. Thank you so much for that. And Mario is in the house, and if my eyes don't deceive me, has just donated $200. Thank you, Mario, so much for that. If that's a mistake, don't worry about it. We can sort that out after the live stream. But Mario's message is really enjoying Livestream, Phil, with all the wingers. Awesome, with an exclamation mark. So thank you, Mario, so much for that donation. But don't worry if it was a mistake. Like I said, we can sort it out. It's easy to do that afterwards. And hello, everybody in the live chat room on this side of the screen. Hello, I hope you're having a great weekend, and just to shout out a few people in the house, we've got Laura and Thomas and Ray and DM and Debbie and Candice and Jen and Harlot and Gino and Candice again. Hello guys, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. We are going to be jumping into this next video just while we've got a break in proceedings, and let me just ask you to spike the likes if you can do on the mug. Oh, I've just messed up the focus of the camera because I picked up the mug and it was trying to focus on it. But anyway, hopefully you can see that now. It says spike the likes, and if you could do that before this video, that'd be great. And during this video, if you are watching this in the future on catch up, you can still hit that like button. It really does help the live streams to get out there and for the channel to grow. So let's jump into this. It was requested by Sandra over on Patreon. It's my song called Art Not Commerce, and this should be the video where I go for a really long walk, and hopefully is that one that I've done it correctly. But if it isn't, then never mind. I'll see you guys after this. Rock.
Places I have been, the faces I have seen, oh, point me one way. All the decisions in my life, people telling me what's right, but I will make my own way. I wish that they could see half as clearly as I do, but they never see it all. Every step that I take, I wipe my footprints away. I make my choice and I pave my way.
And there we have it. That was my song called Art Not Commerce, with those two dudes at the end who were a little bit worse for wear after a night out. But I don't know who they are. I just left that in there because I thought it was funny and a very good ending to the video. But anyway, thank you so much for all of the donations in the super chat window. I did miss out one accidentally, and let me see if I can try and get this up on screen, because I'm gonna have to scroll up a little bit. I think at the moment it's just the bottom of the super chat window that we could see, but it was from Linda. So Linda, thank you so much for that donation. It was for $5, and there was a question. The question was, time for a music question. Do you teach your students how to read music in addition to teaching shapes? So when I teach guitar, it's really geared towards what the student wants to do. So more often than not, I'll have a student who, if they're older, they just want to learn to play, and they want to learn the shapes, they want to play lead guitar. They obviously want to know how to play in different keys, and this is something that I tend to teach from the perspective of playing first. So I'll teach people pentatonic shape 1, and then I'll take that over 3 octaves, teach them the extended shape, then we'll add blues scale on top of that, and then natural minor if they want to throw that in there. But I don't cover all of that theory explaining the different scales. I just show them the shape and just tell them which finger is which note from a scale, because I find that that works a lot easier. So when you're in pentatonic shape 1, for example, and you're playing the G string and you're playing with your 3rd finger, if you play your 1st finger and then hammer on your 2nd finger, it's a classic blues line you hear all the time. That is your major scale note, that is your major key note. So it means that once you know that that's there with your 2nd finger, if you want to tweak it towards that major key with your solo, then you can do that. And obviously it's dependent on what's underneath that. If it's a major key underneath that, or the blues, then you can throw that in there, and you start to get an appreciation of how the major scale sounds over the top of a minor bass progression. But without having to learn all the scales first, I just give them a shape and then tell them which finger is which scale, and it's very much covering the theory afterwards. The other side of that is with kids. Generally, the parents will want them to learn the grades, which go up to 8 if you don't know anything about grading, and that's ABRSM here in the UK. And I do take kids through that, but my preference is to teach it musically, because what you'll find is that when you're learning, or you're teaching somebody to learn to read music, it's a lot slower process with not a lot of playing, because there's a lot of studying the sheet music and trying to find where that note is, and then making it subconscious is such a long process. I tend to like to do it the other way around, because what tends to happen is people that read music and students that read music. I had one guy who was at grade 3 or grade 4, and he then came to me and I said, right, well, we'll just go through what you've done so far, and if you want to continue with the grades, or if you want to learn how to play songs. And I just played an A chord and a D chord, and he didn't know what that was, because all he'd done is learn the 3 pieces that you have to learn for the examination at the end of the grading system. After grade 3 and grade 4, it's the same for all of those grades. You have set pieces that you have to learn. So he'd learned those set pieces, but didn't know any chords. So it meant that he got his grading, but when you say, okay, well, let's just have a blues in A, that would just blow his mind. He doesn't know what a blues in A is. So getting together with other musicians and being able to jam and just do something really freeform, I find personally is better to learn things musically by judging it with your ears and knowing where you're going and knowing a shape and being able to speak or sing through your guitar. And very much having to read it first is taking out the thought process of you coming up with an idea to begin with, because you're looking at somebody else's idea and playing their idea as closely as you can get it, rather than just coming up with your own ideas. And that's what, for me, true artistry is all about. Just start with a blank page and come up with your own ideas. Sure, you can use a shape and rely on that, but if you just give yourself a free reign over the whole guitar and use the shape as navigation, but find the notes that you like and then always go to those, and you'll start to get your own personality when you play. But anyway, that could be a really long discussion and answer to the question, but thank you, Linda, for the donation and the question, and apologies for missing that the first time through. I am now going to scroll back down to the bottom of the Super Chat window just to make sure that we have had another few donations. Thank you so much. And this is Turkey Trail Honeybee Farm Georgia, who has donated $2. Thank you for that. And the message is great tip, man. So thank you, and thank you for that tip of $2. And James is in the house as well. Hello, James, and he has donated $5. Thank you for that. The message is loved the Elvis rant rock. So thank you for that, James. And that has been followed up by another donation by Turkey Trail Honeybee Farm Georgia of $2. What a username that is. But thank you for those donations, for the multiple donations. And if you get a chance, you can hit that thumbs up and spike the likes. I always go to pick it up with the wrong hand so that you can't actually see what's written on the mug, but you can pick yourself up one of these mugs. I did pin it to the top of the live chat room, so it should be on your screens at the top of the chat room. If you want to pick up a live stream mug, then you can do. It says live stream Tuesday on it because Tuesday was the main day that I used to live stream, but now, due to you guys demanding, well, not demanding, but requesting a Saturday night live stream, this is going to happen every Saturday as well. So thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching this live stream with me. So we're going to be getting into the last video of the night, and it's 1:05 already here in the UK in the morning, 1:05 a.m. It always goes so quickly with the live streams, but we're going to be closing it shortly. We're going to play one more video, and this was again requested over on Patreon. This was Kevin, who asked for Percy Johnson. Thank you, Kevin, and everybody who answered my call over on Patreon before the live stream. This is the lyric video for this song. Again, this is available at wingsofpegasus.com on my album. You can download the album or just get single songs, or order a signed album if you want to, and I send those out all over the place. But we're going to be jumping into this. As always, I'm going to be in the chat room while this is playing, and I'll see you guys after. Rock! And that was Running Blind. So I've got my wires crossed with the uploads. That could have been another rewind, as you say. Well, the DJs say that, rewinding it back to the beginning. But we are going to now hopefully jump into Percy Johnson. And I always like it when there's something that goes wrong on the live stream, because it's exactly the same as when you're playing live. And I've mentioned this in other videos, where if there's a mistake, you don't panic, or at least you get used to that feeling of when something goes wrong. So then when something does go wrong, you can relax and not worry about it, and the whole rest of your performance live doesn't suffer. So hopefully the rest of my performance won't suffer on this live stream. We're going to be jumping into Percy Johnson, and apologies for that, Kevin, as he requested this over on Patreon. I will now hopefully do this correctly, and I'll see you guys afterwards. Fingers crossed. Rock!
Beyond London
have it. That was my song called Percy Johnson. I hope you guys liked that one. And let me get the super chat window up on screen because we've had a little bit more action in there. And we have another donation by DM who has donated $1.99. Thank you for that. The message is, have you done a Cyndi Lauper vid? Great artist and player. And yes, Cyndi is on here somewhere. And I think it was True Colours that she was performing, but if I remember correctly, it was that video. But I've seen a lot of videos of Cyndi Lauper. But thank you for that donation. She is here somewhere. You'll be able to find that. And Nora101 has donated $5. Thank you for that. The message is, do you not teach guitar tabs? That's the way I've been learning songs. Thanks for all you do. So thank you for that donation. And yes, guitar tabs is something that I make up for my students. So sometimes when you go on the internet, and you can see on Ultimate Guitar and other websites that have tabs of very well-known songs, and it might have the solo on there. And I am a bit, I don't know what the word is, maybe I'm a stickler for the details of getting a solo exactly right. So sometimes when there's something wrong and I can hear that that's not what's being played, I'll make sure that I do a tab of my own to give my students to make sure that they get whatever we're playing exactly right, so they know those notes are on there. So yeah, to answer your question, yes, I do my own tabs and give those to my students, and they then know how to read them because I teach them how to read the tabs. But obviously it's a lot easier to get straight into reading something when you can't read music. Tabs are such a great source for just having the strings laid out and the numbers on there regarding the frets. It is a really easy way to do it. So all you've got to do really is just remember the symbols for slides and bends and harmonics and all of the different techniques that come in. But yeah, it is a lot more accessible. But to answer your question, yes. Anyway, thank you so much. We've had another donation from Angela, which is $5. Thank you, Angela. The message is, it's good of you to acknowledge who is playing and singing. Very important. So thank you, Angela. And yes, I think it is very important to know who the real artists are and who the people are who might not be so honest, but especially from an artistic point of view, I think those people like Elvis would want people to know somehow that he is playing, because just people saying that he was faking, and what's the problem with just saying that he's faking? It doesn't really matter. It really does on the fundamental level that an artist who wants to be known as being genuine and authentic, it's a really important part. But thank you, Angela. And we've had another donation from Ryan, and the message is, evening from the UK, and how did you learn to sing? Thank you for that, Ryan. And singing wise, I pretty much started with a really old DVD, which I'm going to have to try and remember the name of it. It was the Metal Methods DVD, and it was Jim Gillette, who was an old singer for a band called Nitro. And he used to do this DVD, or at least it was released as a DVD. I started there, and then I moved on to Singing Success, which was another program that I tried. And then I tried another one, which was Singing with Freedom. And then my most recent one was, actually no, I did Ken Tamplin before that, his course. And then after that, I did Eli Princeton, or Princeton, his name is, his surname, not Princeton, Princeton. He did a course, and I got a little bit into that, but then I start to go down my own avenue with particular techniques and things that I work on. So a short answer is, I did loads of different courses and tried to pick up as much information as I could from YouTube, from other singers, and not just courses, but singers on YouTube who also teach, and just pick up as much as I can. So I've been doing that for probably the last, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 years, just doing that day in, day out. And I think it is something that once you really start to learn something like an instrument, just doing it as much as you can every day, you start to get the hang of it, and singing is one of those. I think it is a totally different skill, being able to teach your vocal cords how to do what you want them to do, because there are so many muscles, especially with me learning to sing from scratch, that want to get involved in order to make the note happen rather than allowing it to happen. And approaching it from allowing it to happen is such a different mindset, because once you can hit a note and you are almost straining to hit that note, you know you can hit that note, you've just got to strain a bit. Whereas you've got to try and take your foot off the gas and hit that note without straining. And you've got to learn all the different ways that your voice works naturally and not forcing it to happen. It is such a long journey, and like I said, I'm kind of 8 years into it, but nowhere near at the end of it yet. But anyway, thank you so much, Ryan, for tuning in from the UK and for that donation. And Paul has donated $5. Thank you for that, Paul. The message is thank you for what you do. And no problem. Thank you for joining me on this live stream. That goes for everybody in the live chat room tonight. We are going to be calling this to a close now, because it's coming up to 20 past 1 in the morning here, 20 past 1. So we've gone on for quite a while, but thank you everybody for tuning in tonight, and all of the super chat donations as well. And the message we've just got in from DM, which was a donation as well, $1.99. The message is, can Adele guest on your next album? Is she close by? I think Adele lives at Tottenham Court Road, which is, with the new Crossrail, it will be 20 minutes from me. But if I was to jump on a train, I could probably be there in 40 minutes. So yeah, she's relatively close. I'm not sure she would guest on my album. It's probably a different style of music, that she's a little bit lighter, more pop orientated, but maybe, you never know. I don't know why Adele would be guest starring on my album. You never know. Stranger things have happened, but probably not as strange as that, especially considering the style of music as well. But we will see. Maybe one day our paths will cross in Tottenham Court Road. But anyway, thank you, DM, for that donation. I am going to be jumping offline now, so thank you everybody for tuning in tonight. And a quick look into the live chat room. Hello everybody in there. We've got Blind Snipers, Pleasant Valley, Picker CA of California, I'm assuming, and Dwayne and Adriana and David and Dan B. Thank you so much. And Dan B's just said, Phil's daylight savings happens March 29th. Not sure how that changes streams. So just to address the change in times, I don't know how it's going to affect it either. What I'm going to do is set up the stream, as always, as an event, so that it will do the countdown, so that if you are subscribed and you've got notifications on and you tick the little box to be notified for all of the videos and streams, it will be able to count down for you, so you know exactly when the stream is happening. And I think that's probably the easiest way to do it. But I'll try and get the word out there as to what the time is and when it will be, when I'm going to be live streaming on Tuesdays and also Saturdays when those clocks change. But we've just had a last second donation from Laurie, and this is for $20. Thank you so much for that, Laurie. The message is, have a restful night and thanks for the Saturdays. Good night, Phil. So thank you, Laurie, and a great little message to end on tonight for the live stream. Thank you everybody for joining me tonight, and a final spike of the likes, why not, just to finish with. And it's been a popular thing, Saturday live streaming, as it was last week. So thank you everybody for joining me tonight. And if you guys can make it on a Tuesday night, then I'll be always still doing the live stream then as normal, but I will be doing these Saturday live streams as well. So if you can make it on the Saturday nights, I'll see you at the same time, same place next Saturday night. I'll be live Tuesday night, but I'm always doing these analysis videos every night of the week, and I'm always in that comment section. So thank you everybody for commenting and also liking and subscribing to the channel, because it's great to have such a cool community of people that I can live stream with. And also everyone who gets involved in the live chat room, you can head over to the Facebook page, the Wings of Pegasus supporters page. Just join in with that and you can continue on the discussion and the chat room over there after the live streams on Tuesday as well, where Vince hosts the after party. And thank you, Laura, for doing that all over there. And a big shout out to my moderators tonight for keeping everything in check in that chat room. I'm sure with the subscriber count as it keeps on growing, there's going to be a few challenging people maybe in the chat room, but it's been seamlessly dealt with all the time by my moderators, so thank you guys. They are the people with that wrench by the side of their name, and their name is also in blue. So thank you guys, you know who you are. Right, I'm going to be calling this to an end now, so thank you everybody for joining me tonight, and I'll see you at the next analysis video or at the next live stream on Tuesday, and if I don't see you there, I'll see you at the same time, the same place, next Saturday night for live stream Saturday. So thank you guys, I'll catch you guys later. Rock! I'm just going to interrupt myself because that said live stream Tuesday, and I can't end with a live stream Tuesday ending. And I'm not sure whether this is going to work or not, but let me see. I'm going to try it again and see if the stream is going to go out with the live stream Tuesday. And if it does, I'm just going to have to work on something else to end the live stream. But if it says Tuesday, we know it's not Tuesday, but I'll see you guys when I next see you at the live stream on Tuesday or the analysis videos or next week live here. Catch you guys later. Rock!